Welcome to Equipping Leaders, a podcast where I share and discuss resources, tools, and information to equip leaders to build creative, cohesive teams through culture and leader development. Welcome to Equipping Leaders, Episode 1. I'm your host, Natasha, and today I'm going to introduce you to my vision for this podcast and discuss the importance of self-development. I've always been a huge leadership enthusiast, even before I really understood what that meant. I remember reading books about great leaders and wondering what were the circumstances that led them to that place. When I was working on how I would brand myself, a friend of mine said that for as long as he'd known me, which is more than 10 years, I've always talked about leadership. I believe that my purpose in life is to equip leaders to build creative, cohesive teams through culture and leader development. I'm going to use this podcast as one of the ways that I better help equip leaders. Every week, I will discuss a topic to include an overview, research, and other perspectives on it. I have 15 years experience in various leadership positions, both in my professional and personal endeavors. I studied psychology, and that was an amazing gateway for me to all of the ways that I believed I could empower others. Once I really embraced leadership as the theme of my professional life, I started to focus my educational study in that area. I'm working on an MBA, which will be finished in 2020, and I attended the Columbia Coaching Certification Program at Columbia University. I also read about 300 books a year, the majority of which focus on team building and leadership, but there are a few other genres mixed in there every so often. For today's topic, I'm going to talk about the importance of self-development and why every leader should care about their own development and the development of those around them. When it comes to development, we can take a 360-degree leadership approach, meaning that we care about those behind us or our subordinate team members, our peers, and the people who are senior to us in position or experience. We all learn from each other. Simon Sinek has a quote that encompasses this, and he says, "When we are closed to ideas, what we hear is criticism. When we are open to criticism, what we get is advice." So it's really important to remember that advice and those ideas can come from anywhere within that 360-degree leadership perspective. Self-development, which can also fall into the realm of professional development, is one of my all-time favorite activities because while it is exhausting, it's also very fulfilling at the same time. John Maxwell often talks about how you're either moving forward or you're falling behind. There is no standing still. People are changing constantly throughout their lives and sometimes even throughout their day. In Alice in Wonderland, Lewis Carroll wrote a line for Alice where she said, "I knew who I was this morning, but I've changed a few times since then." Individuals who are invested in self-development are always in a state of internal transition. There are many events and resources that can encourage change in an individual, the most important being the individual's own desire to change and evolve. When you decide that you want to be better and be different, you will engage in the world in a unique and new way. You will derive more from your day. You will be willing and able to hear information from a wider variety of sources. We know that change comes from within, but how do we cultivate a mindset that supports change? Cy Wakeman said, "The thing that is missing is you. You go first." When we acknowledge that something needs to change, we are the change agents for ourselves and our organizations. When considering a new situation or event, it is valuable to stay in a learner mindset, the mindset that is curious about what is going to happen and ask questions to gain insight, versus the anxious or judger mindset, which is worried about self-preservation and maintaining the status quo. The anxious judger mindset has a place, but not when one needs to be in a place of learning. Carol Dweck studied mindset and what prepares or prevents an individual from personal and professional growth, and she found that those who had the learner or growth mindset are better equipped to evolve and change. Now, a mindset is not fixed for life. Self-awareness can help a person evolve from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. In any situation, you can stop and consider your own thinking pattern. Are you catastrophizing or thinking about the worst things that could possibly occur? Are you trying to minimize what is happening by throwing old labels on the situation and the people in it? If so, you can stop those thinking patterns and replace them with more curious questions such as, what can I learn from this? Or what is true about this? Leaders also encounter a lot of change throughout the day because they are in receiving mode for a lot of information. Each piece of new information can shape or reshape decisions and timelines. While an overall result might be necessary, the how along the way can evolve. When I was an instructor for a technical course, there were these practical hands-on exercises, and when the students were done, I would show them how I solved it, and then encourage one or two students to share how they solved it. It was really phenomenal to discover new ways to solve a challenge, but it also allowed people that freedom to find their own way. Each class brought new and insightful ways to solve the same problem, and I have found that when I apply that to other things in leadership, I get that similar result, where there are a lot of amazing ways to engage with a problem. Leaders who can change are leaders who will make it to the top and make the most impact. You have to be able to change. In every situation, we need to ask ourselves, what can I learn here? From there, you will have a better opportunity to adapt and grow both personally and professionally. I hope you enjoyed this introductory episode of Equipping Leaders. For more information and resources, you can check out the show notes and my website at natashacheyenne.com. And you can follow me on Instagram at novel_Natasha and on Twitter at Natasha Cheyenne. Join me next week when I discuss emotional intelligence and how it can improve your personal and professional interactions. Stay informed.